أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters in Iman, respectful elders in Iman, is it true that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isolated fasting for him and he is the only one to reward for it, or he is the one to reward for it? Is it true that some of us are doing the fasting, doing the acts of worship, the ibadat, but we are not gaining or achieving the reward for it, we are not being rewarded for it? Well, here is your answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes indeed, isolated fasting for him. Where are we getting this from? He isolated fasting for him and he said it is for him and he will reward for it. Where are we getting this from? From the hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which was narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. You find it in Sahih Bukhari, you find it in Sahih Muslim. Our beloved Prophet sallam said that قال الله كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصيام فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. What is the meaning of this hadith? He said كل عمل ابن آدم, that every act, meaning every act of worship of Ibn Adam, the son of Adam, lahu, that it is for him, illa siyam, except for fasting. فَإِنَّهُ لِي, for it is for me, wa ana ajzi bih, and I'm the one to reward for it, or I am the one, or I give the reward for it. What is the meaning of this? Does it really mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward for fasting and fasting alone? What does that mean for the other ibadat? The salah that we do, the sadaqah that we give, the zakat, the hajj. What does that mean for those ibadat? That those ibadat not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Does it really mean that those ibadat are not for Allah and Allah does not reward for it? Surely the ibadat that we all know are all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where are we getting this from? When we go back to the Quran, Surah Al-An'am, Quran chapter 6, verse 162, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. What is the meaning of this verse? What is the meaning of this verse? Allah said, say indeed. Who should say? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna salati, indeed my prayer, wa nusuki, and my sacrifice, my rites of sacrifice, wa mahyaya, and my living, wa mamati, and my dying, lillahi rabbil alameen, are for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Inna salati, wa nusuki, wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. These are all acts, but the first two are acts of worship, right? Inna salati, indeed my worship, my prayer. We know salati means prayer, right? Salah, it can also equally mean ibadah, right? Inna salati, my worship, right? We can also put it in that way. But in this case, it seems that it is isolated, referring to what? Worship, prayer, salah, inna salati, wa nusuki, and my sacrifice, my rites of sacrifice. We know sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice, and we sacrifice a lot when it comes to what? Ibadah. So this verse is talking about the ibadat, the ibadah that we do. And equally, the death, our living, and our dying. That all are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the world. The Lord of the world. So here is the case, brothers and sisters in Iman. We all know that all these ibadat are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isolated fasting, saying it in words to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصيام فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. Why? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say this? Well, the ulama made countless of reasons. They brought countless of reasons as to why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this comment, made this statement. But one reason which all the ulama are hammering on, all of them, they are all dedicated to this. All of them are focused on this particular reason. And this reason is very important, which we are going to be talking about today, is that the reason behind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the reasons behind why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِنَّهُ لِي, fasting is for him, وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ, is that fasting is the only and only ibadah, act of worship, which you cannot show off. We all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates those who show off. Severally in the Quran, those who boast, show off, He doesn't love those people. So fasting is the only ibadah, isolated, the only exception that one cannot boast. One cannot boast in this act of worship. You cannot show off. No matter how you try, you cannot show off. Brother, when you just come up with your nice jalbab, you are going to the masjid, look, no matter how big the walkings that you do, the dangling, look, how you swerve yourself, how you change your style of walking. Look, in the month of Ramadan, no matter how you change the style of your recitation of the Quran, no matter how you stand long in the Taraweeh, Salatul Tahajjud, no matter how you do your face like you are the only one fasting or the fasting really enters, look, brother, we are all fasting. We are all fasting. You cannot boast. You cannot say, oh, me, I'm fasting. No, we are all fasting, brother. When they ask, oh, brother, why are you walking like that? Oh, why are you like that? Why are you so slim? Why are you? Oh, I'm fasting. We are all fasting. We are all fasting. You can't boast. But believe me, some people manage to boast. People manage. Others, they manage to boast. They manage to show off in the month of Ramadan. They manage to show off during fasting. The fasting that we are talking about, they manage to show off. They fast while they show off. They do it showing off. Brothers and sisters in Iman. Well, the first question is being answered. Right now, is it really true that we are doing, or some people are doing the ibadat, but just to get the obligation lifted up from them, or just for them to be lifted, the obligation waved away from them, but they are not being rewarded. They are not rewarded for the act of worship. We all know that it is wajib. The ibadat are what? Are wajib, except some of the ibadats that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, let me say, rukhsa to. If you are having an excuse, which you are excused not to do it, but later you will surely do it. Or if you are not capable of doing it, then it is not held obligatory on you until you are capable of doing it. Some of the ibadats, like what? Like zakat, like hajj, right? Probably siyam, fasting, right? Someone who is traveling, someone who is sick. But prayer, no matter how, no matter what is the situation, you have no excuse not to pray. No. No matter be your situation, you cannot You cannot give an excuse. You cannot say, I'm not going to pray due to one or two reasons. No. You will pray whether you are sick, even when you are traveling. There are ways you will pray. Even when there is no water to perform ablution, there's a way out, right? So salah is the exception when it comes to this issue. So here is the case. Here is the case that all these ibadat that we do, they are obligatory. But when you do it, they say your prayer is accepted, right? What is the meaning of that? Your prayer is accepted. What is the meaning of prayer being accepted? Does it mean that you are rewarded for it? No. Your prayer is accepted only means that the obligation is lifted. The obligation is lifted. Allah said you must pray. It is obligatory, your duty to pray, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, you attended masjid, you prayed. So the obligation is no longer on you, right? Today, Salatul Maghrib, I prayed. Salatul Maghrib is not on you again. But did you really achieve the reward for praying? Fasting today, yeah, I fasted, but do you really achieve the reward of fasting? Were you rewarded for it? Many people are just doing ibadat, not because they want to be rewarded for it, but they wanted the obligation to be lifted. They only do it because it is obligatory on them. We are not saying that it's a problem. You should do it for that reason also, but not only that reason. We offer the ibadat not only because they are obligatory, but some other reasons as well. For example, when you are to fast, if you are to fast, you are fasting because it is obligatory, right? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. It is made what? It is made, fard. Allah wrote and joined us to fast, obligated upon us to fast as it was being made obligatory on those who came before us, right? Or it was being written for them. So here is the case, it is obligatory. So we are doing it, number one, because of its obligation. Yeah, but not only the obligation, but what? But we are hoping that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through this obligation, through this ibadah, we gain the forgiveness, we give the reward, forgiveness, the blessings and the rahmah, the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We gain the pardon of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a safe passage to what? To Jannah. We gain Jannah through the ibadah, right? Where am I getting this from? Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam make mention in one of the hadith. You find this in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. He said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wahtisaba." That whoever fasts Ramadan, whoever fasts the month of Ramadan imanan, faithfully, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here means that it is obligatory and you are obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of his obligation, right? For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are not doing it because of anyone. You are not doing it because it is only obligatory. No. But you are doing it what? Imanan wahtisaba. And you are hoping to achieve the reward for it. You are hoping to what? To achieve the blessings, the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the fasting. What did the Prophet say? غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. That Allah will forgive all his past sins. And when we go to the sharh of the hadith, they said what? All his minor sins. Okay, let us go back to the hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith we've been mentioned before. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu made mention in the hadith. The hadith did not stop there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالصِّيَامْ جُنَّةٌ بِضَمِّ الجيم, not Jannah, Junnah. وَالصِّيَامْ جُنَّةٌ. And what? That fasting is what? Is a shield. Fasting is a shield. We all know the meaning of shield, right? In the olden days or in the early ages when they were doing the war, they fight with the sword. You see they have something at the left hand or the right hand, depending on the hand that the person is familiar with the sword. Use the other hand to hold the shield for the purpose of what? Protection. For the purpose of protection, meaning shield. Fasting is what? Is a protection. Protection from what? Protection from hellfire. Protection from what? Sins. Siyam Junnah. Right? So here is the case. Siyam is Junnah. Is what? Is a protection from sins. But you are fasting while committing sins. You are holding the fast, but still you are what? You are committing sins. The sister is passing. You gallanted. You are backbiting. You are speaking foul speech. You are speaking fahsha, kalam al-qabih, immoral speech. Ya subhanallah. You engage yourself with the opposite sex. Touch them unnecessarily. Speak to them unnecessarily. Enjoy their company. Ya subhanallah. All those things are what? They are sins. These are the acts that fasting should what? Should have prevented you from. The sins. And not only the major sins, but the minor ones as well. This is the reason why most people, they devalue their what? Their fasting before they get their reward. By the time they reach to iftar, They don't get the reward for fasting anymore, because all has been used to waive, to cleanse the minor sins they did during the fasting. So they don't receive the reward again. So they end up, upon all the stress, the hunger, the weakness, but they gain zero rewards. But yet the fasting, yes, the fasting is accepted, is lifted, the obligation is lifted, you are not going to make it up. But you are not rewarded for it. You lost that reward. So Siyam Junnah, it is what? It's a protection. It is a protection. That is the reason why most people, or that is the reason why they say that people will end up doing the ibadah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing the fasting, the prayer, but will not gain the reward. So someone who is fasting having the what? Or hoping, having the aim, his goal is to achieve the what? The rahmah, the blessings of Allah, the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That person is the one who really received the what? The reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the one who is only fasting because of the obligation, because it's like it is by force. I am a Muslim, it is by force, it's not by choice. I cannot say I will not fast, I cannot say I will not pray. So for that matter, I'm just praying. I'm just praying. Ya subhanallah. Where are we getting this information from? Why? Why are we saying that there are people, they pray, they offer the ibadat, they do the fasting, but yet are not being rewarded? Well, let us go back to Surah Al-Ma'un, Quran chapter 107, verse 4. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, from the beginning of the verse he said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدْعُو الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. This is the verse we are looking for, verse 4. Quran chapter 107, verse 4, he said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Allah said, woe to those who pray. What is the meaning of this verse? I am praying, I'm offering salah, I'm doing all the ibadah, siyam, tarawih, tahajjud, all this fasting and praying, suffering and hardship, hunger. But Allah said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, those who offer prayer. Meaning those who offer prayer are also those who do the fasting, right? You can't pray without fasting, choose to pray and leave the fasting. No, unless you are having an excuse, right? So let us put it there. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, that woe to those who pray, those who do the prayer, who perform salah. What is the meaning of what? Wail. Some of the ulama said wail is what? Is one of the hellfire, the gate of hellfire. Is it all those who perform salah? Allah said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, that wailfire or woe is to those who perform prayer, or woe to those who pray. Does that mean that all of us, we are just suffering for nothing and we will end up in hell? Because wail is what? Is one of the gates of hell. So here is the case. The verse 5 came to explain, Tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran, the verse 5 came to explain, saying that الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. So meaning if someone recite فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, that is not the end of the verse. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. What is the meaning of this verse? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. That wailfire is what? Is to those who pray. All of them know. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. But those who pray, but who are heedless of their what? Of their prayer. They are heedless of their prayer. Now, when we come to look at Ibn Abbas and others, they talk about the meaning of this verse. They listed possible meanings to this verse. Some of them say that this verse might mean that people who pray, they adhere to prayer, but yet they are what? They are mindless of it. They don't care. They only pray, but they don't care of their prayer. Or it can also mean that people who don't even care of the entire act of salah. Or they may what? They may be performing the salah. They pray salah. Out of its legislation, it is legislated in the Quran or in the hadith, in the sharia, the times of what? Of salah, but they pray outside the legislation, the stipulated time, they pray outside. That's another possible meaning. And others, there are a lot of meanings to this particular verse, but if you can see all these possible commentary and translation of this particular verse, you can see that they are all coming under what? Someone who is not serious about his prayer, someone who is playing with his salah, someone who is playing with his ibadah. Alladhina hum an salatihim sahun, those who joke with their prayer. They pray, but they joke with their prayer. They do the ibadah, but they are mindless, they are heedless, they are mindless of it. They don't care, they are only doing it. You see them in salah, when they come and stand, they will come. It's either they hold their hands or they will give their hands. The way they are even standing, you will see that they are. You suspect that maybe they are forcing this guy. Why is this guy doing this? Are they forcing him? Anytime they call for azan, he will frown his face. His mood will change. Subhanallah. Whenever they are calling for prayer, his heart starts beating. Whenever they call for prayer, it's either toilet catches him or some other issue pop up. You'll see when it's time for prayer, he's in a haste to dodge the salah. Subhanallah. He's not comfortable when it is time for prayer. He's not comfortable. It's not like he's not comfortable because he wants to go and pray, because he can't stand the chance while Allah is calling him and he is still seated doing something else that makes him uncomfortable. No, he is not just comfortable of the idea of praying, because it is let me say, it is something which is, they forced it upon him. It is a force. He sees it as a force. So this is what we are talking about. Alladhina hum an salatihim sahun. But wait and listen. The C verse said what? Alladhina hum yura'un. Alladhina hum yura'un. Not only those who do not what? Who do not take their salah seriously, but those who what? Those who make show off. They show off. When we go back to the hadith of our Lord Prophet ﷺ, which says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kullu amal ibn Adama lahu illa siyam fa innahu li wa ana ajzi bih. What was some of the reason? What was the most major reason most of the ulama stated as to why Allah isolated fasting? They said what? Fasting you cannot show off. Here is the verse, Alladhina hum an salatihim sahun. Welfare is what? Is for those who pray, those who do not take their prayer seriously, and those who pray, they make the prayer as a form of what? Showing off. They pray only to show off. They show off. The same thing applies to fasting. You cannot show off, but you try your best to show off. Your intention of the ibadah, innamal a'mal binniyat. Every act is built on its intention. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. And every act is rewarded based on its intention, brothers and sisters in Iman. What is your intention for performing salah? What is your intention for performing siyam? What is your intention for performing hajj? What is your intention for zakah? What is your intention, brothers and sisters in Iman? Your intention is what determines how you will be rewarded. We all are referring to the month of Ramadan as double. Most people are referring to this particular hadith that says Allah isolated fasting for himself, saying fasting is for him. Meaning, if you do act of worship in this particular month, a good deed in this month, that it is what? It will be multiplied, you get double. Believe me, brothers and sisters in Iman, even outside the month of Ramadan, your rewards are being multiplied. Your rewards are being what? They are being doubled. Allah said in the Quran, Man ja'a bil hasana falahu ashru amthaliha. Right? وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ فَلَا يُجْزَى إِلَّا مِثْلَهَا. Right? So man ja'a bil hasana, if you come with a good deed, falahu ashru amthaliha, it will be what? It will be multiplied tenfold. Was Allah referring to the month of Ramadan? No. anytime. You understand? And it depends on your action. Innamal a'mal bin niyat. We can all go to the masjid and we all return back, and I will be having much more reward for the ibadah that we went for than you, because of my what? My intention. Because of my what? My contribution, my capability, how I do it, my effort in doing it. You understand? We all entered in the month of Ramadan, but we are not going to live equally. No, we entered not equally, and we are not living equally as well. You understand? You see someone in the month of Ramadan fasting, praying, look, but will end up zero because of his intention. The intentions are not right. But you see someone engage in what? In few or more ibadat, but how he performed, the effort that he put into those, and the sincerity, you will see he receive more reward, being doubled. Brothers and sisters in Iman, outside the month of Ramadan, your rewards are doubled as well. Don't wait for the month of Ramadan to come so that you start doing good, so that you start giving sadaqah. Some people only give charity in the month of Ramadan. Believe me, when they are to give sadaqah offering, they wait till the month of Ramadan, then they do it. Why are we limiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No, we shouldn't limit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is beyond our mindset, our mind capability. Allah is beyond our thinking. Allah is beyond our assumptions, our imagination. So we should stop limiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brothers and sisters in Iman, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isolated fasting for him. For fasting is dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fasting is only ibadah which sincerity, absolute sincerity, 100% of sincerity is guaranteed. Fasting is the only ibadah which mankind or which someone will not be able to boast or show off, but yet people are doing it. People are trying their possible best. And yes, people are doing the ibadah upon all those hunger, upon all the hardship, the hunger, the stress, the weakness. People are only doing exercise, but they are not being rewarded for their fasting. They are not being rewarded for their acts of worship. Why? Because their intention is not good. Because they do not take the fasting, they do not intend to fast for the what? For the achievement of the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but rather they are doing it because it is said as what? An obligation by force, and they wanted it to be lifted. They are doing it because people are doing it, and if they don't do it, they do not do it. In the month of Ramadan, everybody is fasting and they are not fasting. People might say that, oh, why is this person not fasting? Why? Because in the month of Ramadan, we come to do everything almost together. Together, we do everything together. So people also come, do this fasting because they are being monitored. They are monitored in the month of Ramadan. Brothers and sisters in Iman, believe me, nobody is watching you. The month of Ramadan, we are all busy trying to gain the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trying to gain the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody is watching you. Nobody cares of you. Only you and you alone. It is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want, obey Allah and ask for forgiveness. Do the ibadah for the sake of Allah, absolute sincerity. If you want, don't do it. That is not our business. We mind our own business, and we hope for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us, and we are praying for you guys to also change. Join us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the better future of all of us, for the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for Jannah and mercy. May Allah grant us beneficial and understanding. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.